Hey everybody, this is Yoritomo and I'm coming back to you with another AFK Cats video. This time I'm going to talk about what you can do to prepare for events. A lot of this is hoarding keys, hoarding shards, all these different things. So for an early game player, this might not be something that you really worry about. But when you feel like you're able to keep keys and whatnot, where it's not really going to slow you down, that's where a lot of this really comes in. So I see about four different types of events. So we've got the boss event, like we're running right now. There's tower events, there's summoning events, and then there's just the random type of event like we had with the previous event, which was with the treasure hunt. So first let's take a look at the boss event that we've got going on right now. So this is Cybark. This has a boss that does AoE damage. Its damage scales up. This is a pretty standard boss for a boss event. And really the only thing you can do here is just build up your boss team. If you're in a guild, basically the same team that you're using for your guild boss you would use here. The nice thing about these is that they give you a lot of loot. Even without going to the shop, um, this is where you're going to get massive amounts of different weapons. So if you want to build up your weapons at all, you're going to get massive amounts here. Also, you get armor, and the armor that you get is generally a lot higher level than you can even build. I've been hoarding armor for months now, and I think I could probably build a level 75, level 76 set of armor, which is pretty good. But in this event, every time I fight, I'm dropping armor higher than that, and I've seen armor up to level 80. So if I combine everything, I could probably make level 85 armor off of what I'm getting here, possibly even higher. So that's the great thing about these boss events. They give you a ton of loot. You also have the shop where you can use the special currency that drops. And in here, this shop is basically all cats, except for keys and some gems. So this is pretty typical for an event shop. They made a mistake early on where Cyanide was 30k and Cleocatra was 120k. Those of us who knew about it tried to get in and get Cyanide before they swapped it back. My hope was that they were going to leave Cyanide at 30k and just drop Cleocatra down. That didn't happen, unfortunately. I was rather disappointed with that. That makes it so the high level players can get things cheaper because they notice it early. Another area was with the Stardust. The Stardust was at 45k and this cat was at 120. They just swapped it back. So I missed the opportunity to get the Stardust. It would have been nice if they just left their mistake and dropped the cats that were too high. Such is life, I guess. So that is the boss event. Pretty simple, just bring your best boss team, do as much damage as you can. If you want to spend money for more keys, that's always a good thing. And again, that's something with every event. You're always going to be able to get further if you spend more money. That's just the way these games go. The next thing that we'll take a look at is tower. So a tower event, again, is going to be whatever your best tower team is, and you can build that up. So right now, at 1.36 billion, the team that I'm using is only 439 million. So I don't know if I'm going to beat it here. No, I didn't. But you can see that with a team that is far less power than the tower, I'll just hit a boost here, see if we can get past it. you can advance. So I'm at roughly 1/3 of the power of the teams that I am taking out here now. Let's see if this will go down now. So I'm starting to run into teams where I need a little bit of a boost. But you can see that you can make it quite a ways in a tower event. One thing that I would point out in a tower event, though, is that you don't want to do a sprint at the beginning. You don't want to buy a whole bunch of tickets, because there's always a possibility that they will make the event difficult and you will stall out. So you want to go quite a ways into the event to see how it's really going to play out, and then if you want to drop some gems or drop some cash to get extra tickets, that's something that you could do. So just realize that blowing a bunch of tickets early on could make it so that you stall out towards the end. So these first two events, really there's not a whole lot you can do in prep, because you're generally going to be making a boss team anyway, and you're generally going to be doing a tower team. The third type of event is going to be a summoning event. The first thing that you will be doing summons with is obviously with your keys. Now, I've seen summon events that go all the way up to 400 keys. So it just depends on how they're running the summon event. I always hoard as many keys as I can. Obviously, I would have a very hard time doing a 400 key summons at the moment because I need another 248. So I continue to hoard keys, and hopefully I will be able to get quite a ways. I can generally get pretty much everything else taken care of in this type of event, except for summoning with the gold keys, just because you generally need to spend some money to do it. The basic keys, the highest we've ever seen is 500 basic keys, and basic keys are pretty easy to come by. So I generally make sure I've got at least 500. If it goes higher than that, I feel like I could probably get up to 750 or more if that's required in the event. It's not something I worry about too much, but I always make sure I've got at least 500 saved up. The next area we'll take a look at is in the training camp. So oftentimes they have you summon 5-star cats, 4-star cats, 3, 2, 1, certain amounts of them. That's part of the Decade Cane event, and other events have you summon a certain amount of elemental cats and sun and moon. So the last event that we had like that, we had to summon 20 fire, 20 earth, and 20 water 5-star cats. So that's quite a bit if you haven't been saving up. You can see that I have a tendency to hoard all of these different cats. So when an event like that comes around, I can just summon and I really don't have to worry too much about it. I've got more 4 and 5-star cats down here. So I could really pretty easily get at least 10 if not 20 of each of those, and I've got enough with the sun and moon as well to do 3 of each, which is generally what's required. The Decade Cane event also had 300 1-star, 200 2-star, 150 3-star, 100 4-star, and 20 5-star. So I should be able to summon all of that as well. And so you can see for these summon events, it's all about hoarding. If you always summon every cat that you come across, you'll run into an event like that, and it's just going to be difficult to get the cat summoned like they ask for. In those events, sometimes there's other random things that go along with it, refreshing the market, doing a certain number of catacombs runs. And the catacombs ones are difficult because They generally don't make it easy for a standard player that has 3 normal and 3 expert catacombs runs per day. Those are hard to do because they make it so you can't do it even if you do every single one, unfortunately. So you either have to spend money or just forget about those. The last type of event is the random one. Like we just had the treasure hunt. And in that case, it's really if you've got a team that's diverse, if you've got some cats that can freeze, that can stun, fear, burn, poison. Generally, they've got requirements like that, or just something random along those lines. Maybe it's a catacombs event where you have to do certain things or get certain cats there. So those are really hard to prepare for besides just having a really diverse type of team. So you need the strong teams for your boss, your tower, have at least some of those shards available to build a diverse team for whatever they come up with. And then it's always good to have some gems saved up. So I don't really have enough gems for an event if they come up with one, because they oftentimes have these packages where it allows you to buy keys or whatever. So I'm probably going to try to build up some more gems, hopefully before one of those events comes up. And then just cash. I mean, obviously these games are made to make the developers money. Whatever deficit you have, certainly you can throw money at. But in most cases, you can be pretty prepared for an event and take care of almost all of the requirements. Again, number one, it's really hard to get enough gold keys, but if you're diligent, you may be able to do that. Number two, getting through the catacombs, those are difficult. One more thing I want to mention is where I find gold keys sometimes. In the guild, sometimes when I defeat the guild boss, they drop keys. The guild store, you can buy up to 10 golden keys. And then in the arena shop here, you can get golden keys here. Now I want to preface this with the epic weapons in here are more important than the golden keys. So if you haven't gotten your epic weapons yet, I wouldn't worry about getting the keys here. But for the people that have been playing the game for quite a while, this is an excellent place. So I could get another 72 keys just from the arena shop here, and then during the time of the event I could probably get another 10 keys just from the arena shop. So this is really very helpful. I could probably get up over 200 keys right now with what I have in the arena shop and with the keys that I have built up. So hopefully this has helped you think about how you want to plan for the next event. Will help you decide if you want to hoard different keys, shards, whatever, or how you want to build up some teams for events. So yeah, hopefully it has been helpful. I appreciate likes, comments, subscribes. I just want to remind everyone to stay safe. Your Tomo out.